Okay, so class, basically today, let's take a look. We are already in this 37 bojhaga. Is my bookmark correct? Is my bookmark correct? Amanda, it is correct. We should start in the verse 103.
Yes.
101.
No, the verse number 103. It is correct.
103.
Yes, correct.
Correct, huh? Okay, huh?
Correct.
So let me try to remind you all. Okay, huh? Basically, now some of our students they start to go to join the retreat class. It is so good, huh? Okay, let's say you go to join the retreat, actually, what knowledge have you been using? Okay, let me try to tell you. So basically, in this three vehicle, we call it three vehicle. Okay, the target mainly actually for the monk, for those who want to renouncing. Okay, but anyway, there's still some meditation theory and the mindfulness theory I abstract from here to to form the course of a meditation for beginners. And basically this theory will be no matter whoever the teacher are there, they will use the same theory to construct them. The courses. Okay, so basically, for this trip, in the very beginning, we talk about the renouncing. Okay, even though you go to join the retreat, I think you maybe you are not aiming for renouncing, maybe just for relaxing some, learn the skill for relax. Basically, most of the people is beginning this way. But anyway, for those who join the retreat, if let's say you know the Dharma already, then you notice that actually it's good for you to start to have a mind of renouncing is very good, because why your intention is very crucial, for those who just go for relax, or maybe just to for maybe they aim for sleeping in the retreat is very different for those who have the mind for renouncing. Maybe you cannot complete it yet for the time being. So intention is so important. You should try to experience for that particular days the feeling of the renouncing. Okay, so this is one of the target. So secondly, and then we go to talk about the Four Noble Truths. Basically, you notice that this is to know how you know how to apply it. And during the retreat, the teacher, they don't have time to explain to you. We are the one who explain you all this. Okay, so basically, Four Noble Truths, number one is the suffering. So there must be the cause you go to retreat. Must be the suffering. Okay, so please think about that. Okay, it must be one of the one make you go to meditate. Then second is the cause for the suffering. Okay, ignorance and craving. We don't know ignorance. It's too hard to explain. But the craving we can feel. Sometimes the craving make the suffering appears. Okay, basically the suffering. If you go there, is due to the profound analysis to the suffering. It will be very good already for you to have a renouncing. Okay, then we go to the talk about the nibbana. It's a little bit far away. So for the retreat, if let's say you can achieve some maybe jhana or samadhi, that's very good already. You can feel the joy. All right. So you have to go through is an Eight Noble Path. Okay. Basically, then from here we'll shift to talk about the traveling condition. But again, this is a little bit difficult because only you can use the theory once you have already in the stage of vipassana. Maybe 10 days, 7 days is not enough for you to go through it. But it doesn't matter. You still go through the theory. The theory is tell you the relationship between the past life, present life, and the future life, and it's due to then there's a 12th element to cross all together. All right. So from here we go. We'll focus on three training. So about the sila training, to sila, samadhi, and the prajna. In order you can do well in your retreat, go back, make sure your vinaya is good. Make sure 5 precepts. Observe as much as possible. Then, but in between the samadhi, the precept and the meditation, you all practice the qigong before. Please do the qigong, because qigong make you healthy, and your energy, and make the flow of energy smooth, and all your meridian chakra opening. So please So for the time being, you do a little bit qigong, meaning to say that you will well prepare yourself to the samadhi stage. Because if most of the people are, especially long time working in their career, they got a lot of trouble. Maybe the blockage of meridian, here pain, that pain, leg pain, a lot of problem. You have to cure it before you go to join the retreat. Okay, and then you start ready. So what you can do now? Then again, we talk about the prajna. Maybe you cannot experience it yet. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Then we go to the Eight Noble Path, Four Noble Truth. The Eight Noble Path. For the Eight Noble Path, actually the things repeat only. We be given the right understanding. It's about the theory for the Paticca Samuppada also. Okay, but for those in some tradition, once you know the theory very well, and if you are able to go into the samadhi, then your wisdom will unfold with the theory you were studying before. Okay, some will explain this way, and then again we go to the the right action, okay, right livelihood, and all right speech. All these things is about the precept again. And then from here we shift to the mindfulness. Okay, once you have mindfulness, then you have the samadhi. So basically, if let's say you hold the precept well, make sure before the retreat you don't have much regret. Yeah, because if you still have the regret during the retreat, you keep on regretting and you are wasting your time only. And then if before the retreat, you don't prepare well, and during the retreat, a lot of greedy anger appeared, so they're all disturbing you. So try your best to reduce it as much as possible. Please go through the meditation for beginner, the notes, and then to get some idea, how to reduce it, how to more prepare yourself mentally and physically. Okay, so this is all about. When your mindfulness is very good, then samadhi will appear. So this is what you can use it. Again, basically you go to retreat, you notice that maybe just 10 to 20% theory is applicable. So how about the rest of 80%? Just like you study remember, right? During our study time, it seems mostly you can't use it, but we still need that 80% to construct the structure, the whole thing for you. Okay, you get it? Okay, then if you really go through the process, no matter how, remember, every sitting is the good sitting for you. Even though after the retreat, you come back, you don't have any mindfulness and samadhi. But at least you sit on the cushion for so many hours, you're better than people who haven't sit on the cushion and torture by the defilement before. During the retreat, no handphone, no computer, no books. You know how boring it is if you're gonna do well. So you have to you got to experience the boring, the boredom, No people will give you, you have to go and pay by yourself. Okay, so this is good. For Yungsi Amanda, so let's go to Joy, so you can prepare the way, as I say. So once you reach there, you got some teacher there, then you just follow their guidance. Here, I prepare you before the retreat, and during the retreat, you have to be, to submit yourself to your teacher already. Okay, so now let's take a look. Now we go to the verse 103. You see, we've already finished the Eight Noble Path. Okay, I mentioned just now already all this. All right. Now we go to the 103. Okay, Amanda, can you please read the passage? Okay, all the grades of the way.
All the grades of the way as taught by the Buddha are grouped into 37. The way is the same, but the presentations vary according to people's capacities, or they differ in the level of difficulty. When the Buddha expounded on the truth of the way, he always taught about the parts of the Eightfold Right Path, but dispersed among various sutras are teachings about the various grades of the way. The grades of the way, which total 37, are grouped into 7 major categories: the 4 stages of mindfulness, the fourfold diligence, the fourfold basics of supernatural power, the 5 roots.
Okay, sorry, please continue.
The 5 powers, the 7 branches of enlightenment, and the 8 parts of the right path. Why are these 37 categories called grades of the way? The way is the free translation of bodhi. These are the different items that are practiced to attain some bodhi. perfect enlightenments. They are called the grades of the way. The fourfold diligence and the eightfold right path have already been explained. The four stages of mindfulness are mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of sensations, mindfulness of the mind, and mindfulness of the phenomena. The stages of mindfulness refer to the mindfulness that corresponds with wisdom. They emphasize the wisdom that comes from contemplation, such as contemplating the body as loathsome, contemplating how sensations result in suffering, contemplating the mind as impermanent, and contemplating the selflessness of things. The fourfold basic of supernatural power concerns concentration. For concentration is the basis of such power. Although the basis is concentration, but because the primary cultivating force of samadhi can also involve aspiration, diligence, cessation, or contemplation, which are not the same. It is divided into four supernatural powers. The five spiritual roots are faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. These five virtues, if practiced with determination, are called roots because they give rise to virtues. The five powers are derived from these roots. They have the capacity to subdue afflictions and so are called powers. The seven branches of enlightenment are mindfulness, investigation of the Dharma, diligence, joy, easefulness, concentration, and equanimity. Of the grades of the way, which are all factors for bringing forth perfect enlightenment. This last is an important group.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, class, let's take a look. Now we start to talk about the 7 major category. Class, take a look, you see. It began, you see, it's a 4, 4, 4. Then it begin with the 5, 5. Then you see 7 again and the 8. It seems it's go through the sequence from the small number to the big number. How come it is like that? SJ, what do you think? Do you think Buddha speak the Dharma, follow the numbering? Okay, today I talk about 5. Then tomorrow I talk about 8. Do you think is this happening like this?
I think it's from easy to more difficult.
Okay, so class actually this numbering it is not, of course, once Buddha give the speech, it doesn't, it doesn't arrange, we call it as according to the numerical system, it doesn't happen this way. This is all, the compiling and the arrangement and the sorting from the Buddha disciple. Because during the Buddha time, how will the Buddha give the speech? Let's take a look, you see. If let's say during the Buddha times, you see, Buddha time, okay, Pindabat, Pindabat. Okay, so Shakyamuni will go to Pindabat like this monk about 2,000 years ago. Actually, he doesn't know. Sometimes he will use his psychic to check who he's going to meet. Okay, but sometimes the people just come to him only. Then he start to talk about the Dharma or Shakyamuni. Okay, give speech. Okay, what happened is maybe the speech sometimes he will deliver to the monk, sometimes will deliver to the layman. Okay, some he purposely target certain group, but some they just come to him, including different career and like for example, prostitute, hunter, okay, merchant, even the king or the queen. Okay, well basically in Buddha time actually there's there's still no the word yet there's no textbook yet. So at that time everything is in memorizing. So once Buddha enter to the Parinibbana, the Buddha disciple, they all gather together and have some meeting. So finally they have the conclusion that this is according to the Buddha saying. So they just memorize it. So at that time basically the Dharma is not arranged in a very proper order. Everything is maybe in a chaotic way, but they put the way for them to easy to remember it. Okay, but later on, we noticed that since it seems so many number appeared 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we try to do some compiling. So that's why we got 37 bojhaga. So 37 bojhaga from here, we will see that it seems let's take a look. Okay, it seems that we will see all this. You see, wait, you see, we will see that there's some is a 4th stage of mindfulness, then a 4-fold of the natural power, 5 rules, and 5 power. All this thing you see. For this, basically, it's not necessary to practice all 37 in order for enlightenment. Not necessary. Maybe just one is really enough. For example, you see, we talk about the 5 root. You see. So what does mean the 5 root? You see, class. For example, this is the 5 root. 5 root is what? It's the diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Class, basically for this, it is commonly shared by supra-mandate and the mandate. So in the mandate, what are we going to do? You see, so class, basically all these, they are the mental factor, they are the mental situation, you know. It begins with a diligence. Why are you with diligence during your Buddha practice? For example, you do the meditation, you with diligence, there must be, you have a belief. Okay, you believe that, oh, okay, I have some belief that through working hard, I will enter to Nibbana, for example. Then you have a belief, then meaning to say you got an intention, all right? So from this intention, you start to have a diligence, you see. So you work hard, or you will be diligent. Once you start to be diligent, then you start have the mindfulness already. And then you observe your breath, you'll be very mindful already. Then what else? Then from here we go to the concentration. Once you count the breath, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, then there's accumulation of mindfulness, then you go to the concentration already. So from the concentration and with the addition of some wisdom, okay, maybe from the knowledge from listening, or maybe once you try to transform the knowledge to the experience, and the knowledge integrate with the jhana, then the wisdom arises. So that is how we apply. We call it as a 5 root. Okay, same only class. Once because most of you are still working. Basically, once you are working, if let's say you notice that, oh, sorry, we got one more is the faith. Okay, you must have the faith first. Before the faith, meaning to say that you must have some belief. So basically, if let's say you notice that somebody they are lazy, they're not working already. So meaning to say that they must be lost their faith. Okay, they must lost their faith. Once they lost their faith, they wouldn't be diligent, and then you will notice that they are not mindful. Mindfulness maybe in your career, you can put it that you are one single mind in your career. And then concentration meaning to say that you are really you have just one heart and one mind in your career only. Okay, so we notice that for those who have if you have the faith, no matter in your work, in your career perspective, or maybe in learning the Dharma, or maybe you want to renounce, all this is important. Okay, it's important. You can check one by one because they are a cause and effect. Anyway, if let's say, for this, if let's say in the supramandate, meaning to say, in Magga and Palachita, basically all these are 5, mental factor, they will be all happens together in one time, in one single thought. These 5 roots, they will appear together. So that is the meaning of the 5 root. So you have to understand it. And so one day you can use it to check yourself. Oh, yeah, try to use 5 root to check yourself. If let's say, if you're very diligent, basically, then the rest all will appear. All will appear. But of course, they won't appear in a single way. Sometimes you need other, for example, in order the wisdom appeared, you must have the knowledge from listening in the first place, so that the wisdom will appear. All right, next let's take a look. Then here we got some more to a definition. You see, after this, let's see. We got 4 stages of mindfulness. Again, the mindfulness of the body, sensation, mind, and phenomena. Basically, these once we talk about the samatha vipassana, you can find from 4 of them. Okay. For example, you see, this is the mindfulness of the body. It comes to the example. You see, contemplating the body as the lawsome. This is the aksubha. Okay. Once the meditation involves the body, we call it as a contemplation to the body. So you see. This method is more common in Thailand. Meditation, aksubha, we call it. fullness contemplation. Let's see. This is fullness contemplation. We call it a mindfulness of body because they use body to attain to the samadhi. Okay, actually, I mean, there's some method you are practicing and you know it quite well regards the mindfulness to the body. What is it, Yung Sin? Involve the body, the meditation method.
Anapanasakti.
Yes, correct. Okay, so, okay, one more. Can you put one more?
Vipassana.
No, Vipassana. Vipassana basically is very general. Okay, have you ever tried walking meditation? Not yet, but you heard about that, right? Walking meditation, right? Okay. So if let's say once you're walking, you're mindful. Once you sit, you are mindful. Once you eat, you are mindful. All this we call it. We categorize it under meditation on the body. Okay, so you get it. Okay. And then this is all about. Basically, if let's say you talk about the vipassana, we will also use this body, but body and the mind as the subject for the vipassana. So vipassana are more broad the area. Okay, next let's take a look. Okay, whereas the rest now we come to the sensation, contemplating how the sensation. Once we talk about the sensation, basically during the retreat, your teacher will tell you how to integrate the sensation. The definition is so simple, meaning to say that in the daily life, okay, once you feel happy, you know it is happy. Once sad, you know you are sad. So that is a sensation. Usually we define sensation as a sukha. You have a sukha, you know the feeling of the sukha, then you know the feeling of the suffering, okay, or the suffering, and you have the feeling of ekakata, no happy, no joy, okay, no sad, you have to know. So this is the more basic feeling. But if let's say, I say we should know during the rise, it seems a little bit nonsense, right? Of course you know, right? Am I right? You feel sad? Of course I know I'm sad, right? Okay. Once I feel, you're not concentrating. For example, you feel joy. Oh, of course I know I joy, right? Okay. Or maybe you feel ekakata, no happy, no joy. Of course you know what. So why it keep on mentioning here? The reason is sometimes if let's say you know the feeling, but if you are able to abstain from the feeling, basically you wouldn't involve too much emotion and you wouldn't go too far. You see, have you ever heard about that? Sometimes we feel happy. Happy is good, but once you overjoy already, you start to infringe many rules and regulations. Have you ever experienced that? Am I right? 我们讲乐极生悲 to enjoy already. Then you start to do the thing which is not right already. So that's why if let's say you know the joy, you're mindful to the joy, you wouldn't go. You wouldn't cross the boundary. Same basically when the sad appeared, we know we feel sad, we feel bad. But if let's say you can just maintain knowing only, you wouldn't go further. But for most of us, when we feel bad, unpleasant feeling arise, if you don't control it, you just keep on, more and more picture, more and more story will come out. You start to blame, and then you try to take many past history to blame, okay, from yourself, you blame to other, from the country, you blame to the prime minister, to blame to the many people can blame. Why? Because once the unpleasant feeling appeared, you're not mindful. Then you start to trigger many story there already. Okay. Then one more feeling is neither non-pleasant feeling nor unpleasant feeling. So what is that? What will you do if you're in that situation? Elena, what will you do? Elena, are you here? Yes. What will you do if you feel neither pleasant nor unpleasant?
Nirvana already.
No nirvana. That is boring. You can't stay long in the neither pleasant nor unpleasant. Meaning to say what ekakata mean what? You start to feel boring already. I don't feel bad, I don't feel good. So we have a tendency to to go to look for the joy, pleasant feeling. Do
Not
you know this or not?
necessary.
What?
Not necessary, Sifu.
Why do you say so?
Because you'll be very calm already.
Okay, some people they can maintain calm, but if you cannot maintain calm, you start to feel boring already. Because if in the feeling actually basically the calm there will be some joy then you can stay long at that calm, you know. There must be some joy. Now we talk about neither pleasant nor unpleasant, you know. So once people at that stage they cannot stay long, they feel start to feel boring already. They look for some excitement. So that's why it's not easy for beings in this stage. You see, not later on, we have our dinner time, so we start to think what food to eat, and we want to experience the joy already. Am I right? We look for the food, we will create the joy. Hey, you won't look for the food who bring you feel neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling, right? SJ, we look for the food will bring you neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling. Will you do so?
No, but sometimes you
Of
have
course,
to take
joy,
it because there's only your choice.
You look for the food. Okay, you feel joy. This is the people tendency yeah, Mr. Leong, yes.
Say for in this state, aren't we in the state of equanimity or upekkha?
Yes. Neither feeling, neither pleasant nor unpleasant. Is actually, it is a upekkha. We call it as not equanimity. Let me see. Upekkha equanimity. Sir, I think upekkha 慈悲喜舍 wait 慈悲喜舍舍一精性舍 so yes, it's quite you can say so. It's something like the equanimity. It's upekkha, the feeling of upekkha, neither joy nor unpleasant. Upekkha, yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. So this is the feeling, we call it okay. So once you know the feeling, then we call it as a mindfulness of the feeling. It's a mindfulness of the feeling. Then we go to the mindfulness of the sensation. Okay, just how we mentioned already, the mindfulness of the mind. So the mind we define on what? Okay, once you appear the greedy, you know, the hatred, you know, the stupidity, you know, you are suspicious, you know. So this we call it mindfulness of the mind, and also including the favorable consciousness of you arise pityness, you know, you arise compassionate, you know, you arise whatever arise, you know. So that's we call it mindfulness. Anyway, sometimes you have to go to the retreat then you will know that how will your shadow or teacher integrate the theory to his meditation system. They will tell you step by step. You have to complete one step by another step. Then you can know only. Here the theory I can just broadly explain to you only in this way. Okay, then the last one class you have to do in this way. For the last one is the phenomena, mindfulness of phenomena. It include 4 noble truths, the 5 hindrances, 37 bojhaga, whatever. No place to put they all just put inside the mindfulness of the phenomena. So this is the way they use the 4 stages of mindfulness to include all the dharma. So you have to write down. So whatever the rest is not under the above 3 category. They all dump it in the mindfulness of the phenomena. Okay. So meaning to say that 4 foundation of mindfulness is really enough to cover everything. Okay. You get it. Okay. Next. Yeah, Mr. Leong, yes, please.
Sifu, regarding this, the 5 spiritual roots, is it under the pancha indriya or 5 mental faculties?
Yes, pancha indriya and the 5 mental faculties is the same thing. Yes, as what you mentioned, they are in a different name. So this translation is not that common, Mr. Leong. Because the author used a very special translation.
Sometimes very confusing.
Confusing. Hey, we are about to finish the whole book already, then you start to say you're confusing now. Am I right? We're about to finish the whole book already. That's why sometimes I have to cross-reference to the dictionary to make sure that you can communicate with other people. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So let's see. So that is a few the thing. Then you see, we come here, you say, because of the primary cultivating force of samadhi can also involve, all right, so this is about the what? Aspiration, diligence, cessation, and contemplation. This is regards to the supernatural power. This is, we call it four what? Let me see. This fourfold basic of natural power. So this one is a fourfold basics natural power. Class, in order to produce the psychic, you must have the expiration in the first place. Then you must have a diligence, cessation, and then the contemplation. All these four elements involve in producing psychic. Okay. I think it's not that necessary to go in detail. You go and try first, then we talk about psychic later on. Okay. So here, you know, it's regards supernatural power is good enough already. Okay, the five spiritual root is, I mean, this is very important in 37 bojhaga. Please highlight, because this one either in Savastivada or in Theravada or Bahasamgika, they all emphasize to the five root. All school emphasize. Some that say five root is only available in Supramande, Chitta only. But some say in both. So they say, so that's why five root is so important now in our, in our scripture. We see so many five root across to the scripture. So please highlight the five root. So Mr. Leong, just now you say pancha indriya five root. Okay, next let's see how they say. Why we call it as a five root? Because they give rise to the virtue. So we call it as a root, you see or not? It gives rise to the virtue. Because once you see class, you have the faith, then you will hold the precept very well. Am I right? Why you will hold the precept? For example, no killing. Because you have the faith. You believe that by no killing or by liberation, by saving more beings, I believe that will accrue a lot of favorable consciousness. Okay. And then finally, there will be some good cause effect to come back to you. So you believe that. And you believe that, once you hold the precept, so quite guarantee next life, you can go back as a human or as a deva. So you have the faith. Your faith is strong. Okay. And then it can have some miracle. And then, according to some, but yesterday, once we talk about the faith, actually, it is commonly shared in different religions. In different religions, you can say commonly shared. Yesterday, I just read from Sinju. There's one drug addict. He just, quite many years addict to the drug. And then, no matter how he tried to, get rid of it, remove the habit, but fail. So finally, according to the article, he start to believe to Christianity. So at one night he said, he tell his God, he said, either tomorrow, either I just die, or you just remove my habit. You just choose one only. He bargained with his God. Then tomorrow, miraculously, the addiction, which he struggled for many years and tried many times, totally disappeared. So from that moment, this guy have a strong belief in Christianity. This type of case, it also happened in our Buddhism, especially in the Pure Land, in the belief of the Guan Yin. Okay, especially belief in Guan Yin, because especially during the Vietnam War, a lot of people they start fleeing from Vietnam to the America, and where will they go? There is a city of 10,000 Buddha. So guys, let's take a look. So this is America. Now here is America. Then the Vietnam, where is it? Vietnam is here, it's other part of the earth. You see, Vietnam is here. So I remember I was staying in America. A lot of Vietnamese due to the Vietnam War. So here is the Vietnam. So they just crossing the ocean and reach to America, and they stay in the CTDB, a city of 10,000 Buddha. city of 10,000. So they come to this temple, okay. Then a lot of people they claim that during during the process they try to cross the ocean or they will because they're about to die so they chant the Guan Yin and they can see a lot of miracle. So that's why this is the faith one. You can see so common, including different religions. If the faith is strong enough, then a miracle will appear. But of course, sometimes the faith people, they are not a very analytical people. For example, the guy who removed the habit, the addiction. If let's say you go deep to the case, partial I think involves some belief. But maybe partial is due to other reason. But the guy, especially the belief-oriented people, they are not very analytical. They can't tell you much. So they say, oh, so they just all the merits they accrue. They will just go back to their religions. It's the same. I believe a lot of Buddhists they're successfully fleeing to the American. Maybe there's some reason, but what they don't see it, but the only thing they see is because they chant to the Guan Yin, then they feel the response from the Guan Yin. Yes, Mr. Leong, please.
See, for this temple in US, are you referring to this Xuan Yan's temple?
No, it's from Master Xuan Hua.
Xuan Hua, yeah, sorry, Xuan Hua, yeah.
Yeah, Master Xuan Hua, not the Zhuang Yan Shi. Zhuang Yan Shi is under the what is under Master Xing Yun. So this is under Master Xuan Hua .
No, Xuan Hua, yeah.
Yeah, I was staying here for 1 year . Okay,
Oh.
Yeah, I was staying there 1 year. I want to become a monk's day, but I met my master there. So finally I come back, become a Malaysian monk. In the beginning, I want to become a USA monk, but no, finally I become Malaysian monk. Okay, so that is, the story a little bit regards the faith. If you have the strong faith, then this thing will appear. But anyway, for you guys, the way I see you all, most of you are analytical mind. So you must have the faith that, and then you will start to work hard to build your mindfulness. Then you will produce in this way. You see that? Okay. And then you give rise to the virtue. You have a faith, then you start to diligence already. Because you believe that meditation is so important. You believe it. It is quite useful. So meaning to say that for those you go to try the retreat, ask yourself first how strong the faith you are. Okay, then what is the reason you go there, and how is your faith? Then the diligence will come. If your faith not strong, once you go there, a lot of obstacle. The mind cannot suffer painful here and there, or then you start to feel boring, fruitless. Then you want to do it anymore, and some will create phobia for you. So make sure you prepare yourself every day, at least twice sitting before you involve in intensive training. Make sure thing goes gradually, then you will enjoy it. Okay. All right, and next let's take a look. So once you got the faith diligence, then the mindfulness should be there already. Because your heart is so strong, you want to attain this concentration. Then come you see, next you see, after once we talk about the 5 spiritual root, then we go for what? We call it as the 5, this 4 called as a 5 power. 5 power is the same faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, same elements only. But once it had been enhanced, it will become a 5 power. Okay, why we call it a power? Because capacity to subdue the affliction. So we call it as a power. Okay, if you have ever experienced the faith is so strong to the Dharma, you notice that the defilement they won't arise. Why? Because the faith within the faith you have a strong we call it as intention there. Okay, anyone experience that? Once you believe to the Dharma is very strong, with a strong intention, you found that your defilement is not strong. Anyone experience that? Mr. Leong? Okay, how about the rest? Nothing. No comment. Okay, please go and feel it. Okay, Mr. Leong is a good example. So meaning to say that you have to try to feel it, how strong in the belief, then you notice that how come my defilement it seems doesn't arise anymore? Because with the strong of the faith. Okay. Okay, next let's take a look. Then besides this, then this is the 5 power. Then next one is the 7th branch of enlightenment. We call it the 7 bojhaga for Mr. Leong. Okay, as the 7 bojhaga. Wait, this is the 5 rules. Is pancha indriya. Then we got the 5 power. 5 power. What is the 5 power in Sanskrit or Pali, Mr. Leong? Pancha.
I think it's Panchapala.
Yes, Panchapala. Yeah, BLA. Panchapala is correct. Panchapala. Pancha Indriya, Panchapala. Then from here we go to the 7 bojhaga, 7 branch of enlightenment. So let's take a look. This is the 7th branch. So what is the significance of them? Okay. Yes, actually they are quite useful for this 7th branch of bojhaga. Okay. So see, let's take a look. You can see there is a 3 pair plus 1 more is of mindfulness. Basically, mindfulness it stands singly, it stands by itself. Here, actually, it comes pair by pair. For example, investigation of the Dharma. Okay, class, please write down. This is under wisdom. Investigation of Dharma is under the wisdom. All right. Then the rest are joy, ease, diligence, concentration, equanimity. Okay, class basically it's go pair by pair. Let's see first. Let me see. Okay. Okay. All right. Investigation of the Dharma. It comes together with the. Let's see. Diligence. Diligence go together. Okay. So I think let me Google search a little bit. I'm not. I don't really remember already. So it come by pair. 7 bojhaga. 7 bojhaga. Bojhaga in pair. Okay. 7 factor enlightenment. Okay, let's see. Maybe I use the pairing. 7 factor enlightenment. Okay. Here is more easy to check it. Okay, it's called about the balancing. Okay, let's take a look. This is how we are going to balance it. So for joy, investigation and energy is a 1 group. Okay, relaxation, concentration, equanimity is 1 group. Please write it. Is the terminology quite different? You can't find it. Okay. So you find the joy, energy, investigation. Let me find for you, class. Okay, so group number 1 is the joy. So class, we see the joy already. Please circle. Then the second is the investigation. So investigation here. Yes, here is investigation of Dharma. Okay, please circle it. Okay. And the third one is the viriya, is the energy. It's the energy, viriya. Okay, energy, viriya. Viriya is here, is the diligence. Viriya is the diligence. Okay, so this is the 1 group. Okay, how are we going to use it? Class, basically, if let's say your heart is overjoyed or maybe over investigation and have over energy, you have to use the relaxation, concentration, and equanimity to balance it. Okay, so how are we going to balance it? Okay, basically you must have the mindfulness, because mindfulness know that, oh, I'm overjoyed already. Okay, how do we know you are over energy? If let's say you go to concentrate, use if you go to observe your breath, then until you feel wow, hit it already. So that is over already. We call it over already. So at this moment, what will you do? Okay, you have to do the opposite, relaxation. Yes. How are you going to relax? Yes. Okay. How will you relax? If let's say you
Sleeping.
sleeping. Well, I think everybody agree. Yes, we go to sleep, right? Okay. Actually, it's true. But we do go to sleep. Just relax. Do nothing because you over tension already. So just relax. You can empty your mind. So that's we call it how you balance yourself. Okay. Once we talk about this, for example, investigation. This is actually is the vipassana. Sometimes if you observe the earth elements, the water elements, you observe too much, also will create imbalance. So you have to go to the samadhi to balance yourself. Meaning to say that. But this is maybe more deep meditation. For example, if you go to observe your body and the mind, but when you over observe, then you found that your mind starts to scatter already. So at this moment, you shouldn't observe anymore. You shouldn't do the you should go back to do the concentration. You should stop the vipassana and go to observe the breath so you can balance yourself. That is the meaning lah. Okay, this is, once you go to the different center with a different teacher, sometimes they will interpret differently lah. They will interpret differently lah. Okay, here is the meaning. Then let's take a look at what else. Okay, so we finished already. So this is regards the 37 bojhaga. Not yet. Okay, let's continue. Yongxin, can you read the passage? Why are the grades?
Why are the grades of the way of liberation from birth and death divided into these 7 categories and 37 grades? The ancients thought that the essence of the way was the same. Originally, the virtues of practice were numerous. The Buddha selected only the principal ones to teach. The birth and death of all sentient beings are the same. So the way of liberating from birth and death cannot be different. But since people have different capacities, the Buddha spoke of different grades of the way. From the perspective of sutras, any grade, although any one of the grades includes all virtues, only the important ones have been selected for explanation, can liberate one from birth and death and said to be the way of the one vehicle. If we group the grades together, the principal items of the way can be reduced to 10. Faith, the roots of faith, the power of faith. Diligence, fourfold diligence, the root of diligence, the power of diligence, the diligent branch of enlightenment, right diligence. Mindfulness, the roots of mindfulness, the power of mindfulness, the mindfulness branch of enlightenment, right mindfulness. Concentration, the fourfold basis of supernatural power, the root of concentration, the power of concentration, the concentration branch of enlightenment, right concentration. Wisdom, the 4 stages of mindfulness, the root of wisdom, the power of wisdom, the investigation of the Dharma branch of enlightenment, right understanding, reflective thinking, right thoughts, precepts, right speech, right action, right livelihood. Joy, the joy branch of enlightenment. Equanimity, the equanimity branch of enlightenment. Easefulness, the easefulness branch of enlightenment.
Okay, thank you so much. Class, please circle, the terminology which you feel familiar and study before. You are not sure, you can flip back. Okay, you can start now. Please raise them by Zoom once you finish. Okay, go. Here, just circle, which one you feel familiar, you just circle by yourself. So which one you feel familiar, you just circle it. Okay, Okay, one people finish. Two people finish. Okay. Mr. Leong, please count for me how many in total. Please count for me how many in total. Okay.
I think it's 37.
37. Okay, so. Hey, this is like a psychological test. Don't think too long. You feel good, just circle only, that's all. I see how many you can circle. Elena, how many do you circle? On the mic.
4 only.
4 only. Okay, how about, SG, how many you circle?
14.
14. Okay. Yeah. Then we wait 2 of them. Yukwa, how many have you circling? Have you circled? Yukwa?
Overall.
Oh, you circle already. You feel familiar for all. Okay, yes.
In Chinese now.
In Chinese. Okay, have the remarks first. Yeah. Yes, how about Amanda? How many have you circled?
I circle 9 of them.
9 okay. 9. Good number. Okay. Last one, Yung Sin.
8.
8 okay, 8, 9, 4. Okay, no matter how, class, the more you circle, the more familiar you feel, meaning to say that maybe your foundation is good So for those who circle less than half, please just do more study You got to repeat and repeat. Okay, because this way to Buddhahood is the subject without examination. So basically, it's quite hard for people to have a diligence, one of the 5 diligence to study hard over it, quite hard without examination. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Please lower your hand. Okay. So we continue. Okay. Of course, you will find that it's very academic. It's very. It is present scholastically You will notice that Of course, because our textbook is written by the scholar, so you feel that it presents in scholastically. But here, we like to emphasize that we need to say that from this different group, we are able to categorize all. Meaning to say the class, as long as you know this 10 group very well, meaning to say that once you go through to the Nikaya, the Sutra, whatever Sutra, you will know it very well. And basically, all of these they are the fundamental for the Mahayana Sutra, Mahayana texts. Sometimes this 10 group have been demeaned as a Hinayana teaching. So some Mahayana, especially Mahayana, maybe I mean the Mahayana Buddhists, Mahayanists will refuse to study, whether will be wrong. So they are all fundamental because they all talk about the mental state. If you have this, if let's say this, you are not familiar, and then you have difficult. Once you try to understand the Mahayana text, maybe you will understand. You don't have a more comprehensive picture. So make sure you really go deep on it. Then it will helpful once you go back to the Mahayana text. Okay, next, let's take a look. So we finish this, we go to the next paragraph. Okay, Yokwa, can you please read the passage?
Although the principal items of the way have these 10 categories, if one achieves right understanding, one can then attain the achievement of faith, and joy, equanimity, and easefulness are simply virtues of concentration. Therefore, the description of the Eightfold Right Path is the most complete, and the 3 studies are the most concise. Alternatively, it can be said that in the course of personal practice, one needs these 7 categories, though they differ in their levels of difficulty. One can practice them category by category. That is, in the beginning, one practices the fourfold stage of mindfulness. Upon reaching the stage of warmth, one practices the fourfold diligence. At the crown stage, one practices the fourfold basics of supernatural power. At the stage of tolerance, one practices the 5 roots. At the stage of being on top of the world, one practices the 5 powers. At the stage of beholding the truth, one practices the 7 branches of enlightenment. And at the stage of cultivating the truth, one practices the Eightfold Right Path.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, class, let's take a look. Mr. Leong, finish, thumb up, please. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's take a look. You see, class, here we come to here. According here, you see, okay, you see, basically, even though we categorize as a 10 category, but they are mutually related. For example, you see, when you achieve the right understanding, then then one can achieve the achievement of the faith. Why? Because you see, class, for example, in the beginning you have the faith, okay, then you have the faith. Maybe in the very beginning, you have maybe a little bit right understanding, okay, you believe, oh, there's a cause and effect, okay, but not 100%, okay, but maybe during the meditation and in the daily life observation, then prove that, yeah, there's a really cause and effect, okay, then you have the faith, okay. Once you have the faith, then your right understanding to the karma, you're getting stronger, you see. So they are mutually influenced to each other, okay. So that's why we say, once you have the right understanding, then finally it will go back to your faith, you see, okay. Then you see here, according to the joy, equanimity, easefulness, it seems like different category, but actually they are the virtue of concentration. As long as you got a concentration, you will feel the joy and equanimity. Okay. So according to here, Eightfold Right Path is the most complete, and the three study are the most concise. Yes, three study. What are they? Three study? Can you check for me? Okay, you can check the glossary. What are the three study? Once you finish, please thumb up by Zoom, raise hand by Zoom. What are the three study actually? Okay, one people finish already. Very fast. Within 10 seconds. Okay, two people. Okay, three people. Elena has to raise her hand, not clapping, raise the hand. Okay, it will count for me. Okay, three people, yes. Yes, four people already and five people already. Oh, yeah. Okay, SJ, can you tell me what are the three?
Study of precept,
Precept,
study
then?
of meditation,
Okay.
study of wisdom.
Yeah, 就是戒定慧真上学啦，Study here means 三真上学，It's correct. There's three of them lah, So he said this is the most concise. Okay, Okay, here there's a little bit, maybe a little bit difficult. I just roughly tell you, Class, let's take a look. Stage of warmth, stage of the crowd stage. Then you see, stage of the tolerance, stage of the top of the world. Then the stage of the beholding the truth and the stage of the cultivating the truth. This is under the school of the Sarvastivada. Please, class, write down. Here, the name is what? Let's see. 7 category. Let's see. 4. Okay, reaching the stage of 1. Is under the Sarvastivada. Let me check for you. This is the stages under the Sarvastivada. Sarvastivada. So, class, please write down. Here, you just highlight the whole thing here. So these are the meditation stage under the Sarvastivada. Meditation stage. Chinese 说一切有不啦. So the word there actually in Mandarin is 暖顶忍是第一法啦。OK 好。So just write down it's under the Savastivada. Okay. So let me check for you why it's mentioned. Let's see. Appearance and the language. Let's see. Mula Savastivada. Okay. We don't. I don't see the stages here. So I just immediately let me just explain to you. Class, take a look to this diagram. You might be very familiar. Okay, so class, you see, so this is the Nibbana, right? So from the Nibbana, we'll see there's a knowledge. For example, we start here, knowledge of the fruition, knowledge of the path, right? So the path, knowledge of the path and knowledge of the fruition, they are, the object is Nibbana is their subject. You see, Nibbana is the subject. All right. Then here we have to go through a few citta, okay, in order to attain to the knowledge of the path and knowledge of the fruition. Okay, well, so let's see here. Actually, class, beholding the truth is the last one. Beholding the truth actually is just something like this. Knowledge of the change of the lineage is equivalent to knowledge of change of the lineage. So here, class, you see, we got 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. So meaning to say that here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So meaning to say it's about this stage from Savastivada, or before they reach to the Magga and Pala. So class, you just write here something like that now. You see how the cultivating the truth class, you just write this knowledge of the change of the lineage. You just write there. Knowledge of change of the lineage. Okay, you just write it, just sort of, okay, just a sort of only. If let's say want to prove that equivalent, we really need some more, a more strict academic research to prove they are really equivalent. Here, just sort of only. So you know that these are, we call it as the stage for the meditation. So just write there. Knowledge of the lineage, and then so class, this one is cultivating the truth. Then the beholding the truth. So class, you just write beholding the truth is the knowledge of the conformity. Knowledge of the conformity. That is the knowledge of a conformity. Okay. Then we will consecutively, the next one, please write the knowledge of the equanimity toward the formation. This one is under the what? Let's see. The top of the world. Okay, the top of the world. Okay, one thing, the top of the world. Thing. Okay, yeah, the top of the world. The top of the world is about in the knowledge of equanimity towards formation. Sankhara upekanyana. Okay. Raise hand, please, once you finish the writing. Okay, finish already. Okay, class, you have to always remember this knowledge of equanimity toward formation, Sankhara upekanyana. Why? This is the very famous jnana. Why? Especially in Bodhisattva. Okay, class, if according to the Prajna from the Heart Sutra, the teaching from the Heart Sutra, teaching from the Prajna series, they will mention that as a Bodhisattva, once you achieve this Sankhara upekanyana, you have to stop. You cannot go further. Because if you go further, immediately you go to the Pala and the Magga. Then once you reach to the Nibbana, there's no way to go stuck. You cannot become the bodhisattva anymore. The reason is class once you reach to the sotapanna, you just take another 7 life in order to become to the arahant. Once you become arahant, you're like somebody already awakened from the dreaming. We are like people still in the dreaming. Once you are awakened already, you cannot help us anymore. You got it or not? So that's why if you become arahant, you cannot help us anymore because we are still in the dreaming, you know. You are already awakened, you see. But for bodhisattva, especially from the Prajna series, once they meditate until this stage of vipassana, until this, they will stop. Okay, meaning to say that they will still keep some ignorance. They don't go to the end. They still keep some defilement, ignorance, so that they can stay together with us and teach us. The teaching from the Buddha and do the meditation. Do the 37 bojhaga. So that's why this Sankhara Upekkha Jnana is so crucial and important. Okay, class, if let's say you really make up your mind you want to become a Buddha, you have to make sure you have the great compassionate mind. Once you make a vow for the great compassionate mind, and once you do the vipassana, you reach to this stage, you will stop here and you won't go further because your great compassionate will pull you back, make you hold off. You won't go further. Okay, so that's why it happened recently because some bhikkhu he meditate and he aimed to become the arahant, but no matter how hard he try, he cannot become a sotapan. So he report to his teacher So his teacher, the Sayadaw, go to check his past life and notice that he make the vow of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhe before, meaning to say he make vow want to become a Buddha. Okay, so after checking for him, so his master told him, okay, you please give up your great compassion, your vow. In order, once you give up your great compassionate, you can proceed to the sotapan already. So he just followed the instruction. Yes. Then later on, he attained to the sotapan immediately once he give up the compassionate vow. Get it, class? Okay, so always remember this, okay, well, it seems maybe for you feel very far away, but who knows? Maybe your past life, because in your past life you do very well, like Amanda Yungsing, maybe you go to retreat, then you go to the jhana already. You don't know, right? Then you go to the jhana, so vipassana very close to you already. Yes, Amanda, you smile reluctantly. Okay, anyway, so you have to go through all this by yourself. Okay, so according to this here, the 737 bojhaga, meaning to say that from different stage they will practice the different one. So this is very, actually this is stated in the Abhidhamma. Actually, they are stated in the Abhidhamma. Okay, so I think I stop here. Okay, let me check some more. Okay, 10. Then we got one more verse, 104, 105. Okay, 2106. Can you check for me how many page in order to finish? Class, can you check for me how many page? Any